and we're really excited. Gabe and Jill called us on Friday to talk about doing a promotion, a contest, something, an incentive program to close out the month of April, and really help everybody advance, help everybody rank advance, finish the Ireland contest. Hey, Jill. Just finish the month strong and make a push. And they came up with some great ideas. We were talking yesterday back and forth, and without any further ado, I just want to turn it over to Gabe and Jill. And guys, thanks so much from April and I, and speak for the whole team for doing this for the team. We really appreciate it.
Well, it just wasn't my doing. It was Bob and my doing. I mean, we both, was bouncing ideas off of one another yesterday. And obviously I'm using his 27 years of experience on what works, what doesn't work. And I think we came up with something that all of you are going to be excited about. I know Jill and I are extremely excited, and we're hoping this is the beginning of incentives on a monthly basis. All right. And I was thinking about this. The purpose for these incentives is to create excitement, right? To create camaraderie, a friendly competition amongst, our teams, most importantly, keep it fun in your business, right? When there's something on the line and you've got some creative competition juices flowing through your bones, it makes the business so much more fun. And obviously we want to create momentum going into May and then throughout the summer months. And again, if this takes off like, Bob and April and Jill and I think it's going to, I mean, we're going to have an incentive in May and incentive in June and July. Just keep it running to keep the business, with some flair, to have more fun and things like that. And obviously we want to increase attendance for this 10-year anniversary in Kansas City. I mean, this is a big deal, folks. And if we can help, some of you by getting there, that just makes Bob and I and April and Jill feel that much better. So, and then more importantly, obviously the grand poobah, the creme de la creme, the biggest trophy of what I've just said is for all of you to get you to be able to rank advance in the business. And that's the long-term, biggest trophy. So if we set some baby steps and lay down some breadcrumbs right now and getting everybody beating to this drum, it's going to be a lot of fun. So with the help of Bob, and I know he corresponded with April, this is what we came up with. And while I'm giving you the parameters, this was Jill's idea, and this is the reason why I have Jill on. She wants to come up with a name for this particular challenge. And instead of Bob and I and April trying to come up with something, we thought it'd be great if we incorporated, Bob and April's entire team to come up with a theme, come up with the name of this challenge just to make it more fun, right? And if there's a name, it hits home a little bit more, right? And it's here. It's not in the back of your mind. It's kept in the front of your mind. And also what Jill came up with was maybe when we're done going over the parameters, the rules, so to speak, maybe, y'all, if you have the ability to speak, I'm not sure if you do or not, but we'd like to come up with some tips, to help you succeed, for these next 2 weeks, whether we send these out daily, tip of the day, whatever you can do to help accomplish this incentive. So this is what we came up with, and I think it came out. It's going to be awesome. All right. So, and this is recorded. So if you have team members that are not on, go let her in. Some team members that are not on. Bob has this recorded, and you'll be able to hear it over and over and over. He's gonna send it out to everyone. All right. So all personal, volume needs to be new volume placed between the 15th, which was yesterday.
April 15th.
Yeah, of this month, April 15th, which it's retroactive. Whatever your volume you did yesterday, new volume counts. And the 30th of the month. So what a great way to close out the month to help all of us rank advance, right? Okay, and understand this, your monthly subscriptions don't count. We're talking about new volume, new customers, new distributors, okay? And new spot orders enrolled between the 15th and 30th, okay, will count in this contest. And what we came up with was a minimum of 2,000 PV for the first 5 places, the first 5 top spots. And this is what we came up with. The person.
So minimum. So go ahead.
Yeah. I said minimum of 2,000. So you're in, right? And then what we decided to do, because we want as many people come to this event as possible, and we want to try to incorporate as many people as we could to want to participate. So we tried to keep the numbers low, a no-brainer. A minimum of 1,000 in personal volume for spots 6 through 10. Okay, so actually there are 10 places to be able to be awarded. Now, first place, and this is Bob and April, it's their creative mind. I'll tell you how small my mind was. I was thinking about the elite breakfast, because that's, at every elite academy, Jill and I always say every single time that was the best event of the event.
But wait, the breakfast, you have to explain what the breakfast is.
Yeah, the breakfast is, we set it up for specifically our elite distributors. And they get to spend the breakfast with the entire corporate staff, the top brass, to be able to bounce ideas, for them to be able to help you answer some of your questions, to be able to help you build the business. But more importantly, folks, it's the relationship that you build, with these executives. And that's the most important. So I was thinking that's the grand poobah, right? That's the biggest trophy. And Bob goes, no. Let's think it from a different perspective. And I absolutely agree with this. He said, how about allowing them to spend some time up front on the white couches and experience the energy from the front of the room, to be able to have Jill and I introduce you to the other Master Pro 10s in LifeVantage, to be able to have Jill and I introduce you to the executive team and let them know the reason why you're up front is because you're a winner. All right. You won the incentive for Bob and April's team. And, we want your name to be thrown out to those other Pro 10s and to the executive team. Okay. Because if you ever need anything, it gets done a little quicker. Do you see what I'm saying? All right. So what we decided to do is, for the top spot, the person who has the most personal volume above 2,000 will have their choice on when they want to sit up front. So some of you might say, well, you know what? I want to hear Darren Jensen's message, because to me, that's one of the high points of the Lead Academy. And I want to be front and center. Or I want to be up front when one of Bob and April's leaders are on stage speaking. Okay, I want to be up front for them. Or you might have, there's going to be all kinds of bells and whistles, folks, all kinds of entertainment. Remember, it's a 10-year anniversary, and Bob and I and April and Jill don't even know who they're going to be bringing in. That's going to surprise the hell out of us, all right? So you might want to be up front and center for the biggest entertainment of those 3 days. So the winner gets to pick when they want to come up front.
And it's for a block of time, right?
Yeah, it's a block of time. We'll talk about, I think, Bob, correct me if I'm wrong. I think we talked about an hour or so, but that's
it was a segment, whether it was Darren's, stretch, or whether it was a keynote speaker, or so it's a segment. And I guess when we have a schedule, we can work on that.
And I think we might be able to do a little bit longer than that, because for me, I would want to hear Darren. I want to be up front and center, right? But Darren's speech is normally 10 or 15 minutes.
Right, so it'd be longer then.
Yeah, there's 5 spots that are going to be able to come up front. So we'll figure that out and be able to fit as much time for all those 5 winners to spend as much time as they can up front. I'll go. Jill and I will go back in the back and sit so we can have all of you up front. Okay, that's. No,
they want to sit with you, man. They're upline.
All right, but Bob, I think that's the incredible incentive, award right there. So again, for the winner, you get first choice. You also are going to get a round trip ticket to the Elite Academy.
Plane ticket.
And a bus ticket. a rowboat going across Atlantic. No, plane ticket to Kansas City. All right. Also, you're gonna get to be able to attend our elite breakfast and even spend more time with our other elites. Some of them that you might not know personally, that you can kind of rub elbows with, and again, speak to the executives. And then you'll get we don't know what it is yet. Jill had a great idea. We might come up with some T-shirts that are specific to this incentive. So if y'all decide that you want to come up with a name of this, incentive, this challenge, it will be on the T-shirt. And I think Bob, you and April's teams, you always say unity wins. Is that your key slogan?
Team Unity wins.
Team Unity wins. That's going to be on the shirt. Kansas City will be on the shirt. So Bob and April and myself and Jill, we'll come up with some great ideas to be able to design it. And if we decide at the last minute, well, you know what, this swag is better than the T-shirt, we'll come up with that. So that's to be determined, but there will be a swag involved. Then the second place winner gets the second choice of sitting up front in the leather couches. Also a round trip airfare ticket to Kansas City. Also, they'll be able to attend the breakfast and have that swag. The only difference there is you have your second fiddle to the first on time slots. Same thing for the third place winner. You get third choice of seating up front on the white couches. Airfare round trip to Kansas City for the Elite Academy. And by the way, if one of you wins this and for whatever reason there's some scheduling conflicts, there's no way that you can make it to Kansas City, but you want to go to Long Beach, California, the Elite Academy afterwards, of course. All right, you've earned it, you get it. So it's not like Kansas City, if you don't go there, too bad, so sad. No, it's yours that you have won. And again, you'll be able to attend the breakfast as well as swag. For the fourth place and fifth place winners, just the same thing, but no airfare. So the airfare round trip plane tickets are for the top 3 spots. Okay. Fourth and fifth place still gets to sit up front, still gets to go to the elite breakfast and still get swag. And then 6 through 10 spots based on volume. All right. We'll get, if we come up with a T-shirt, you'll get, a T-shirt, you'll get the swag. So hopefully, Bob, have I been pretty clear on that? Anything you want to add?
No, but I have a feeling we're going to figure out how to add to the swag.
Yeah. Okay.
We've only had 12 hours.
Yeah. This was done literally hours ago. So, I'm really, really excited to be able to, just kind of dangle a piece of cheese in front of all of you. I mean, when I was building my business, I absolutely thrived on it. And I've said this many, many times. I personally believe the reason why we hit the top rank of this company is because we hit every single incentive trip. I think with the exception of one, to get us to Master Pro 10. And Jill and I, well, more so me than Jill, thrive on winning, thrive on competition. I know Bob and April's the same way, so hopefully this kind of, you won't be able to sleep tonight. All right. Hopefully this kind of gets your juices flowing, and all of a sudden it just ups your productivity is what we want. And we want everybody to win. We want everybody to come to this incredible event in Kansas City. Jill, you want to add anything?
No, I'm really passionate about the challenge names. We've had like the Power Challenge, Momentum into May. I like a verb, a part of a verb. Are we connecting and making an impact? And we've got, Team Unity wins. Do you want that on the shirt? So these are just brainstorm ideas. But I also just want to name the challenge. So when we do the tips or the special Zoom meetings to do Q&A, maybe you want some Q&A, some one-on-one mentoring, we can have a team call and we can have Q&A and, just get through some of those challenges or fears a lot of us have that impede us from building this business, because this business is really simple. It's usually the mindset, or there's small obstacles that get in our way, and we think it's a time thing, or we blame money or time or family, but it's usually those fears that keep us from reaching these goals and hitting these top ranks and hitting these incentives. Because I know you can do this. Bob and Gabe and I and April all know you can do this, and we're excited to throw out this challenge. And this especially, the plane ticket's amazing, and but having time like at that breakfast is so intimate, and what it does is it builds the vision and confidence and instills that in you and helps you overcome those fears and obstacles you may be having. So that's the space I love when building this business and getting underneath you guys, edifying you, building you up. And Gabe loves these competitions, but this is truly a vehicle to change lives, your own life, but also thousands around the globe. It's a real purpose, and I'm really purpose driven. And I hope you guys see that.
Yeah, let me elaborate a little bit on this breakfast too, because we are privileged to hear about information that the rest of the distributors in LifeVantage don't know about yet. We get to hear that first, so they get to tell us, what's next, and we get it first. We get all that information. They give us all these, tools to be able to work with when we leave that elite academy. And that's what Jill was talking about. It's priceless, folks. It's, I tell you what, for those of you that make it to that breakfast, you're going to yank on Bob and April's shirt sleeve and say, I want to go again. I want to go again. I want to go again. Let's come up with another incentive. Let's come up with another incentive. That's how much you're going to enjoy it.
Pro sixes, we always invite pro sixes and
up and coming pro six, up and coming sixes that are getting close to 7.
Yes.
That or a 6 that's just killing it. From a volume standpoint, I know Dr. Moshe Deckel on Bob's team has been there. Bob, has there been anybody else on your team?
I believe you've invited Ton and Shalky, but they weren't there. They couldn't attend the time they were invited. I just gotta agree with you, Gabe. The breakfast, you gotta realize that you're around a group of leaders and corporate, not just corporate. The people running the show. Darren Jensen. Justin Rose, Ryan Goodwin, Dave and Kelly, and the whole crew.
All of them.
They're all there, and the lawyers are there. The CFO is there. Everybody's there. And just to be in the room, I like to call it just listening to them talk shop.
Yeah,
is such a privilege to hear the conversation that goes on. And, and if you're in the room, they know you're in the room, and they know you're an up-and-comer.
Absolutely.
It's someone that's never been to your breakfast during the lead account. They don't understand it because they haven't been there. Okay.
And let me tell you this too. that if you have any insecurities, any negatives, anything that are so small but you think they're monumental, they completely leave your brain. When you leave that breakfast, you start to understand the enormity, the magnitude of how big this is and what their plans are in the future that you have no clue. But now you have a little bit of a clue.
Gabe, I just got a text from Ton. He was at one.
Okay, awesome.
I don't know if it was him and Shauki, but they did. Awesome. He said you guys are spot on. He said you guys are spot on. So
yeah, Ton and Shauki earned that breakfast. And all we want is we want these leaders that are this close to elite to understand, the importance of having every fiber in your bone is all pro-Life Vantage. And when that sinks into your mindset, you're unstoppable. Nobody can stop you from building the business. If someone says anything negative about Life Vantage, you just chew them up and spit them out and move out of my way. And that's exactly how Jill and I were, because we were able to experience the leadership from day one. From the very first Elite Academy, we were asked to speak on stage, and we got to hobnob with the executive team, got to know who they are from a personal as well as a business standpoint. And then when I could pick up the phone and ask the CEO to come to Jacksonville, to help build my team, he's on the next flight. And that's the relationship you want to have with the executives. Bob and April already has it. Bob and April does not have to come to Jill and I, to say, hey, can I call somebody from corporate? Are you kidding me? They want Bob and April to call them. And that's the relationship in this short amount of period of time that Bob and April have solidified with them. Well, and we want that for all of you.
I think that's Team Life Vantage. I think we run together, the corporate staff and the field, and that you don't always feel that, but you'll feel that once you attend the breakfast. Bob, it was on my heart that you come, your team knows you, but I'd love for you to share when you're at that breakfast, what's the differentiator in other network marketing companies in Life Vantage to instill that belief, and to move you into this May momentum challenge, so to speak.
Well, April, come on in here for a second. April's in the other room. She's online with us, but she's in the other room. We didn't have it. Okay, it didn't exist. What we get to experience at that breakfast, just slide in. Just slide in behind me. Hey.
How's everyone?
But it didn't exist. It's a cultural thing, where Life Vantage feels it's important that the distributors and the corporate work as one team. Well, we didn't come from that culture. It didn't exist. But what I want everyone to understand is that this has been put together. You guys have put this together so that everybody can be better and do more. For the person that would normally do 200 points in the next 2 weeks, do 400 points. The person that would do 400 or 500, hit that 1,000. For the person that would do 1,000, hit that 2,000. This is, and you got to get the message out to your team, because we've talked about this. You get this working down in your organization, and everybody starts challenging everybody. Then everybody's getting opportunities to rank advance, and it goes right up the lineage. It just goes all the way up line, and, we appreciate you doing it. We really do. And I know April and I came up with the couch idea. We're proud of that.
That's awesome. That's our favorite. That's our favorite.
We just said they weren't.
I had a chance to sit there for a little while, so it is.
Well, you guys are more than welcome to sit in the white couch anytime. You don't even have to ask. Say, get the hell out of my seat.
That's where we're all striving to get to the white couch. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I know the plane ticket is nice, and money is always nice and stuff, but there's just something about those couches, man. It's just
absolutely, and it's the recognition that Jill and I want to make sure that you receive appropriately. You know what I'm saying? We want to introduce you to all the Pro 10s. These are winners on our team. That's what we want to do. We want to brag on all of you. We want to boast. We want to put you on a pedestal. We want to introduce you to all the corporate staff, even the people who are running the show behind the curtains. We want everyone to know who you are. And I tell you what, that helps so much in building your business. And Bob touched on something that just made me think this, and this is more on tips to be able to make sure that you are in the running of one of these plane tickets, okay? Here's what I would do personally the second I get off this webinar is I would hold a meeting for my team, and I would do exactly what Jill and I and Bob and April are doing to all of you. You need to be doing that with all of your team. Make sure that you pick, if your team is 15 people, I would pick up the phone and say this 15 times. And you want to cram it down their throats. You want everyone on your team to be beating to the same drum. And what Bob just said, those people that are used to doing 200 points now go to 700 points. People that are doing 400 points go to 1,500 points. And you want people on your team to win this challenge because it helps momentum into May. It builds momentum. It builds excitement within your teams.
Confidence.
Don't let Bob and I and April and Jill be the only one that talks about this. We are trying to get you to become leaders. So what leaders would do is, Gabe, Bob, April, Jill, I got this. All right, done. And then get on the phone and start doing the same thing we're doing and be just as exciting as you possibly can, explaining it and coming up with a game plan on how your team is going to kick everybody's asses. We're going to have all 10 winners on our team. That's the mentality we want to see. Okay.
I love it, Gabe.
Yeah. So that's what I did when there was an incentive that came from corporate. I was on the phone personally talking to every single leader, every single person on my team, and giving them some ideas on how we can all achieve it.
And we're still closing out Ireland, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, you have until April 30th. And I'm telling you what, people have hit incentive trips in the last week because they put their mind to it. You make the decision and knock this out. Hit a home run, and you will. I'm telling you, it will blow your ever-loving mind on what you might not think is possible exceeds that expectation that you have.
Love it.
And the worst case scenario is everybody did better in April than they did in March.
Your volume goes up. Your ranks go up. And
it's a contest for the person that's brand new. They could have started yesterday and they can still win this. They can get all that recognition. So it's a fair playing field.
Yeah, everybody's at zero.
Everyone should be excited.
Yeah, that came from Bob and April, folks. That you thank your fearless leaders for that, because they were thinking about you who just got started today. Gabe, I want to make sure this is fair across the board. And that's why I bounced ideas off of them, because they've got a lot more experience than I do. And Jill and I are learning, and this is something that we can put into, the system, and do this incentive, yearly or whatever. If it works.
Think of how great it would be if 3 brand new people got the plane tickets and 5 brand new people got to sit on the couch.
Oh, I mean, I'm telling you, they're going to hit elite. They'll be Pro 10s, because that was Jill and I. We didn't even know what we were doing. We were asked to be a keynote speaker, for the very first Elite Academy. They gave us 10 minutes, and because they put us on that pedestal, I mean, there's no turning back.
It's only, if you don't stay there, it's only downhill from there. So
Exactly. So you just pay attention a little bit more closer, to things. And that's all we're
last, because we'll let everybody go. We will send out this recording as soon as I get it, and which should be within an hour or two, and then with the details of the 10 spots that. And all I'm going to do, Gabe, what we had copied and pasted back and forth yesterday, I'm just going to include in there, and it's exactly what you said. So
perfect.
We're
again,
good?
folks, we want to hear from all of you. If you need some tips,
Bill asked for the name of the contest incentive.
Yes.
Get Jill the names.
Okay, awesome. For the person that comes up with a name, you'll get the swag just for coming up with the name. All right?
All right, guys.
All right,
Thank you.
Great job.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everyone.